Okay, so let's get started. So today we are going to learn about nested programming in detail. So guys, you see this a beautiful pattern right in front of you, which is which we want that it can be printed using loops in Python. So loops are something which are meant to, handle some recursive tasks or iterative tasks. So I have also created a separate video. Basically, it's a pre-video to this, where I'm talking about the definition of for loop and how are they being implemented. So this is more of an example class to that. So if you want to understand the basics, real basics of for in Python, just go back to the video and have a look. And here we're going to play with the one of the most interesting examples that we can have in Python for loops. So this pattern is something that we are going to play with. So what do you see in this, that I have a order which we have to first understand, and that order is that my initials are constant and the end of every iteration that I see is getting repeated. So consider this as this first iteration, second iteration, third iteration, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and till the number six. So just every row will have one iteration. Now, to move from top to bottom, I can see that I have a number sequence from 0, which is starting from 0 and ending till 6. So now I see that in this I have two kind of movements. One is from top to bottom, another one is from left to right. So to understand this in a more better way, I can see that I have two kind of loops that I have to use here. So why I say loops? Because I want to do this using loops, right? They can be other way also, like you can vanilla print all the lines and you'll get the pattern similar like this. But question is that we have to use loops to do that, so that the end number is not in the program control, it's in the user control. So to do that, what I can do is, first let's understand range. Do you know range? If not, the previous video covers that. But in short, range is basically helping us to print a number from 1 till the range specified value. Okay, so range is basically inbuilt keyword in the Python. So I will say for variable I in range, and person is asking, now, imagine if you have to come till 6, how you will come as a person? You say you will come from top till bottom, but at every step you will have to walk 2 step or 3 step or 4 step in the right direction to discover 6, right? So first let's understand, I want to print 6. Range of 6 means from 0 till 5. So person is asking 6, so I will say 7. Now I will simply print I. So what I will get? I will get number 0 to 6. Now understand the logic. This is not what I want. I want something that in every row the sequence starts increasing, right? Like for 1, it should go till 1. For 2, it should go till 2. 3, it should go till 3. The 0, 1 to 3, 0, 1 to 3, 4, 0, 1 to likewise. So here, so I am able to iterate from top to bottom. Now for left to right, I will again take one more loop, which will eventually iterate dynamically to the range, till the range of which will depend on the above number. So if I'll say I here, okay, let's first understand. I'll give a lot of examples once we print the output. So J will depend on I, and I is something which is always increasing after first iteration. So J, this iterator will run for every value of I till the value of I. So I is 3, so it will run for 3 times. I is 4, it will run for the 4 times. And now I'm printing it. Okay, now you see that these numbers are printed n number of times. But this is not helping me because I want to print this in a pyramid format. So what I will do is I will take a variable, maybe a string, and it will have a 0 by default, and then I will write uh, s equals to redeclare it here because I want that I'll explain you with the output, and then here before printing I will do the concatenation of the number j, and instead of printing s I will print this s outside the scope of this number, right? So what happened? S0, s equals to 0, or maybe a string, right? Now, so what I'm doing here is I'm just concatenating s to a number string by typecasting this number to a string, and this is what I will add or maybe give or to a placeholder s, and after this iterator is over it will just simply print the output. Now just try to understand that there are few things. How exactly is this being printed? So now demand is still what, 6, so I will say go till 8. See, because I'm starting with 0, so I'm printing from 0, so that's why this number thing is has to be think upon, but that is not important. Important is how is this happening. So let's understand in the dry debug mode. Okay, and what is dry debug mode? It is just that you are manually running the program. So what I will say, range will start from 0 till the number, so I will be 0 at the beginning, right? This s counter will have a string 0. Then this j will run at every value of I because it is depending on I. So it is saying j will have what, 0 in the beginning, right? Because initially j is I is also in this, also I is 0, you can see here. So j is also 0, so this will not run uh, more than that time, so it will run for once and it will go till the next value. That is not possible, so it will go up and I will become 1 this time. The second run s will remain 0 only because again it has been initiated with I will just put this separator so that you understand this. And then again in this iteration, now because I have I which is 1, so j will run for 0 times because 0 and 1 is always less than 1, so I is 1 here, so j will run for 1 times kind of, yeah. And 0 1, so it will run it will for run for only one time for the 0 iteration. So in this case what will happen, I'll write here only s will become, so 0 earlier, and then it will become plus, and then the str of j is what, 0 again. So again it is 0, which will become 0 0 0 is 0 0. So once it will come down here, so what I can do here is this calculation that I have done will happen. I'll just cut this, Control X, and I'll just paste it here so that you understand, right? Now it will go out of this for because loop is only for one time, so it will just run one time and it will go out. And in this print, it will just print the pattern 0 0. It, in the first iteration, s was default 0, this was printing 0. So in the second iteration, it will print something like this, and I'll put the separator. When it goes in the third iteration, that is the I will become what? I will become this time, I will become 2. So I will become 2, then again S will be initiated back as single quote 0, that is string 0. Now this time my J will run for 0 1, that is 2 times. Okay, so this iteration will happen 2 times. So in the first iteration, it will have 0 getting added with 0, so it will become 0 0. And in the next iteration, when the range, when the first, like for example, there is 0, then in the next iteration, the value of j will be 1. So this 1, j will become 1 0 0 plus 1, which will become 0. Or better say, you can understand it this way: 0 first iteration, 0 plus 0 second iteration, which becomes 0 0, and then which plus 1, which will make it as 0 0 1. You see the third line, right? Similarly the iteration will happen, and in the printing, that's pretty simple. In the printing it will just print the message 001. Now go up in the third iteration. What will happen? I think now you can understand. So third iteration, we can just simply say s will be 0. Loop will run for 3 times because now we have understood 0 till 2 3 times, and then here in this it will be first 0, which, and then in the next iteration 0 plus 0, and which will become 0 0. In the next iteration it will be 0 0 plus 1, which will become 0 0 1, and in the next iteration it will be plus 2, so it will become 0 0 1 and 2, fourth iteration. And in the printing it will go and print 0 0 1 2. Okay, now simple iteration. How is this iteration happening? This is important. So this dry debugging mode is something which is really important for any developer to understand how this internal loop is working, when this internal loop is ending, and when this external loop is coming in picture, what is the scope of this s, and where exactly this print has to be printed. Imagine I just use this s, print s in the inside loop, and you will see everything gets changed. So, what is the scope of internal, scope of external? How are you playing with that? That is really important. So, guys, in this video, we will kind of understand this. I'm going to create one more video with another similar example. So, in case you're liking it or you have any query in understanding this logic, pseudo logic, basically, just write me in the comment box. Subscribe the channel if you have not done, and just let me know if you have any other similar example which makes you more clear about the concepts, because this is very important to understand the concept, right? Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.